Hello everyone and welcome back to chapter number 9, that is tax invoices, credit and debit notes. Okay, so we are discussing the questions. First one, Jai is a registered supplier, runs a general store in Ludhiana, Punjab. Some of the goods supplied by him are exempt and some are taxable. So he is making supply of goods which are taxable as well as exempt. Now we have to advise him on the following issues. The first one says whether Jay is required to issue a tax invoice in all the cases, even if he is selling exempt goods, okay, and even if he is selling the goods to the end consumers. Then second one says that Jay sells some exempted as well as taxable goods valuing rupees 5,000 to a school student. So is he mandatorily required to issue two separate GST documents? So one of the provisions is that in case when you are supplying taxable goods as well as exempt goods, you can issue a invoice come bill of supply. Okay, so there is no need to separately issue invoices for all your taxable supplies and to issue a bill of supply in case of all your exempt supplies, and wherein the value of your taxable value of your goods or services exceeds rupees 200, you are supposed to issue a tax invoice if you are a registered supplier. Then Jay wishes to know whether it's necessary to show tax amount separately in the tax invoices issued to the customers. So yes, if you are issuing a tax invoice, you have to separately show all the tax amounts. Okay. So let's see the answer. See, for the first one, no, he is not required. He is not required to issue tax invoice in all the cases. Why? Because as per section number 31, every registered person supplying taxable goods is required to issue a tax invoice. So if you are supplying any taxable goods, then you are supposed to issue a tax invoice. But section 31(3)(c) stipulates that every registered person supplying exempted goods is required to issue a bill of supply instead of a tax invoice. So in case you are supplying the goods which are exempt, then you are supposed to issue a bill of invoice, whereas for taxable goods you are supposed to issue a tax invoice. Now, Rule 46A provides that a registered person supplying taxable as well as exempted goods or services or both to an unregistered person may issue a single invoice cum bill of supply for all such supplies. So in case you are issuing taxable services as well taxable services or goods as well as taxable as well as exempt goods or services or both to an unregistered person, okay, in that case you are supposed to issue invoice cum bill of supply for all such supplies. Now further it says, however, as per section 31(3)(b) read with rule 46 and 49, a registered person may not issue a tax invoice or a bill of supply if, so which are the cases wherein you are not supposed to issue either your tax invoice or your bill of supply. In case the value of goods supplied is less than 200 rupees, the recipient is unregistered or the recipient does not require such invoice. So in those cases wherein the value of a supply is less than rupees 200, the recipient is unregistered and the recipient does not require such invoice, then in those cases it is okay if you don't issue a tax invoice or a bill of supply. Now what it says further. Now, instead, such registered person shall issue a consolidated tax invoice or bill of supply for each supplies at the close of the day in respect of all such supplies. So, when your value is less than 200 or you are supplying to an unregistered person or the recipient does not require any such invoices, then in those cases what you can do is at the end of your day, you can prepare a consolidated tax invoice or a bill of supply for all such supplies. No need to maintain a separate bill of supply or a separate tax invoice for each of such supplies. Now, in the second case, as per Rule 46A, where a registered person is supplying taxable, so we have already seen this provision that where a person is supplying taxable as well as exempt services, then to an unregistered person, a single invoice cum bill of supply can be issued for all such supplies. So for the supplies made of rupees 5,000 to that school student, there is no need to issue a tax invoice and a bill of supply, okay, separately. to the school student in respect of supply of the taxable and exempted goods respectively. So a combined invoice of invoice cum bill of supply can be issued to that student. Now for the third one, as per section 33, where any supply is made for a consideration, every person who is liable to pay tax for such supply shall prominently indicate in all documents relating to assessment, tax invoice and other like documents, amount of tax which shall form part of the price of such supply is made. Okay, so you have to predominantly, see, remember this word, you have to predominantly indicate in all your documents relating to assessment, tax invoice and other like documents. What are things you need to indicate is all your amounts of taxes which are forming a part of price when such supply is made. Okay, so these are your mandatory requirements. Now, as per rule 46M, a tax invoice shall contain the various particulars inter alia, namely amount of tax charged in respect of taxable goods or services, that is a central tax, state tax or integrated tax or union territory tax or cess. So whatever amount of tax is chargeable, CGST, SGST, UTGST or IGST along with the GST, cess, all those amounts are to be separately mentioned. So in this case, Jai has to show the tax amount separately in the tax invoice issued to the customers. Now moving to the second question. Okay, what it says, Avatar Enterprises Kanpur started trading exclusively in Ayurvedic medicines from 1st of July. Its turnover exceeded 40 lakhs on October 3. The firm applied for registration on 31st October and was issued registration certificate on 5th of November. Examine whether any revised invoice can be issued in the given scenario. If the answer to the first question is in affirmative, determine the period for which revised invoices can be issued as also the last day up to which the same can be issued. So in this case, from the date you are granted registration certificate, from that date up to 1 month period of time, you have the time to issue revised invoices for the period from which you are liable to get registered till you received your registration certificate. So see here, as per section 31(3)(a), a registered person may, within 1 month from the date of issuance of certificate of registration, issue revised invoices against the invoice already issued during the period beginning with the effective date of registration till the date of issuance of certificate of registration to him. So here you have to remember 2 points: the time frame during which you are supposed to issue revised invoices and the time frame up to which you can issue such invoices. So the time frame up to which you can issue such invoices is 1 month time from your effective date of registration certificate, from your date of issuance of registration certificate, and the time for which you are supposed to issue the revised invoices is the date on which the date beginning with the effective date of your registration up to the date of your issuance of certificate. So see in this case, okay, we'll see in the answer only. See, Avatar Enterprises has applied for registration within 30 days of becoming liable for registration. So in case you are applying for registration within 30 days, your effective date of registration is the date on which you were supposed to be liable to be registered, that is your 3rd of October. Now, since in the given case there is a time lag between the effective date of registration, that is October 3, and the date of grant of registration, see, registration certificate is issued on 5th of November. So there is time period between 3rd of October till 5th of November. So during this time period you are supposed to issue revised invoices for every invoice issued between the time frame of 3rd October till your 5th November. The same, and up to which date you can issue this invoices is your 1 month from 5th November, that is your 5th December. Okay. The same can be issued for supplies made during this intervening period for the period beginning with 3rd October till 5th November. Thus, the revised invoices can be issued for the said period till 5th of December. Now question number 3. Discuss the provisions relating to issuance of an invoice or document in the following circumstances. Advance payment is received against a supply but subsequently no supplies are made. So in that case you can issue your credit notes. Now goods are sent on approval for sale or return and are removed before the supply takes place. Okay, so here you can issue again debit notes or credit notes. Then Mr. Mohan provides continuous supply of services to his client where the due date of payment for such services is not ascertainable and no advance has been received in this behalf. Okay, see, as per section 31(3)(e), where advance payment is received against a supply for which receipt voucher has been issued but subsequently no supplies are made and no tax invoice is issued in pursuant thereof, a refund voucher may be issued. Okay, so refund voucher will be issued to the person who made the effective payment. Then for the second one, as per section 31(7), where the goods are sent on approval for sale or return and are removed before the supply takes place, the invoice shall be issued before or at the time of supply or 6 months from the date of removal, whichever is earlier. This is question of your time of supply. Now, as per section 31(5)(b), in case of continuous supply of services where due date of payment is not ascertainable from the contract, the invoice shall be issued before or at the time when the supplier of service receives the payment. This also you need to remember. Okay, so the last question of this chapter. Pari and Sons is an unregistered dealer of taxable supplies in Kerala. On 10th of August, aggregate turnover exceeds rupees 20 lakh. The firm applied for registration on 27th August and was granted certificate from 1st of September. Now you are required to advise as to what is the effective date of registration, and it has also sought your advice regarding issuance of revised tax invoices. So a date of effective registration will be 27th of August. Okay. Why? Sorry, it will be 10th of August. Because on 10th of August you are supposed to be liable for registration and you have applied for registration within 30 days. So when you apply for registration within 30 days of being liable to register, your effective date of registration will be the date on which you are liable to be registered. And for revised invoices, you have 1 month time period during which you can issue revised tax invoices for the intervening period. So let's see the answer. See, as per section 22(1), that every supplier is liable to be registered in the act in this act in the state or union territory other than special category states from where he makes a taxable supply of goods or services or both, if his aggregate turnover in a financial year exceeds the threshold limit of 20 lakhs. So, section 25(1) provides that a supplier whose aggregate turnover in a financial year exceeds threshold limit is liable to apply for registration within 30 days from the date of becoming liable to registration, that is the date on which the threshold limit is crossed. Where the application is submitted within the said period, effective date of registration is the date on which person becomes liable to registration, which is 10th of August in this case. Otherwise, it is the date of grant of registration in terms of Rule 10(3). Now, in the given case, since Pari and Sons have applied for registration 27th August, which is within 30 days, the date of becoming liable to registration was 10th of August, and that is only your effective date of registration. Now, every registered person who has been granted registration with effect from a date earlier than the date of issuance of registration certificate to him may issue revised tax invoices in respect of taxable supplies effected during this period within 1 month from the date of issuance of registration certificate. Okay, so here Pari and Sons may issue revised invoices against the invoices already issued during the period effective from date of registration, that is from 10th of August till 1st of September. You have to issue revised invoices. Okay, and you can issue this revised invoices up to 1st of October. Okay. So I hope that is clear. So this chapter is done, and if you have any doubts, you can reach out to me in the comments below, or you can even join the Telegram group wherein all further updates will be shared. You can discuss, you can give me feedback, and you can ask any doubts that you have. Thank you. I shall see you in the next video. Till then, study well.